Hi everyone, Aryan here, and today we're going to wireframe this section here by using Bricks Builder and AutomaticCSS. Let's check how it behaves on responsive mode. Great. Now we can start building it. Click here and get on your page builder. Click on plus button. Click on the container. Click again here on plus button to add our new elements, and then search for heading, rich text. Great, I'm going to copy and paste the text in this way. Okay, then click on section here, with section selected, plus button, and then search for container. As you can see, he added a container. Make sure it's on the same level of this other container, and it is. Click on container, and here again we go on display, grid, and here grid template columns. You can use pixel, fraction, whatever. I would use AutomaticCSS 2, and also here right click 2. Great, so now we have those 4 sections. Perfect. Once done that, we can now add our block. With the container selected, plus button, search for block. Open up this, click on block, rename it. Okay. With block button icon text selected, we go on plus button and we search for div. Open up the structure, rename the div, div icon and text. With this selected, you can go again on the plus button and add a new element. In this case, search for icon. And then you can search for the rich text. Great. Now click again on the block, plus div, rename it, call it div arrow, and with div arrow selected, plus search for icon and click on icon. Open up icon, call it icon arrow. Great. If you open the structure, you see that we have a div with icon and text, div arrow and icon arrow. Great. Now, if you're using AutomaticCSS, we can BAM everything. If you're not using AutomaticCSS, you need to add the classes manually. So let me BAM everything. Click on BAM. You can also rename whatever you want. I would add like, usually I add this UPE, okay, to know that this is made by me, and then apply classes. Great. Once done that, we can start styling our elements. First of all, click on this icon here. I usually click here to set up the icon class so that you are editing it. Icon. You can change it to something else. You can also upload your own SVG if you have enabled SVG uploading on your Bricks Builder settings. I go on font, awesome, brands, and just choose some very quickly, some brands. Okay. And then I would go on size and say 2 EM or maybe even 1 EM to make it small. Then on text, I would go and copy the same text they have. Make sure you click on text to avoid pasting links or other styling. Great. You can go on visual and then go on style. Now, by styling it, remember to always enable this, and now you can basically go and style this by going on typography, for example, font size. I will go to change the font size with AutomaticCSS, and let's say I want to choose S and add a calculation. oops, and I multiply 1.2 and close the parentheses. Great. So now we have our text here. And another thing we need to do now is to actually change the div styling. So click on the div, enable the class of the div, and then go on content, display instead of block, you make it flex. And now you are able to, change the direction. So make sure it's clicked on horizontal. Okay. Then we make sure that the align cross axis is centered. And then we can add a row gap, or in this case, a column gap. I would choose XS. And then I need to make sure that those two elements get on the same row. So click on this one on our block, and then make sure to, of course, select the class. And then here, direction horizontal, align cross axis center. Great. And another thing we need to do is to make sure there is space between. Okay. Great. Once done that, we need to click on the icon here. You can click on the class to activate it. Icon, search for an arrow, like this one, and then change the size to 1 EM would be fine. So we made our structure, right? Great. Now we actually need to add some padding. First of all, before doing anything with the padding, I want to make sure that the elements take the correct spacing. So close those, click on this one first, go on Style, Layout, on Width, I want this to be a 90%, and on the div arrow, I want this to be a 10%. First click here on the class with 10%. And also make sure, going on content, change the div into a flex and say to align itself to the end. Sorry, not this one, but this one. Yeah, sorry. Actually, it's this one, align main axis. So now, with the same div selected, so we set it up everything, right? Okay. What happens if I go on tablet? So the div stays the same, it's all centered. Here, everything is okay. And on mobile, we will be changing that in a moment. So let me get back to desktop. Now that the structure is actually done, we need to add some padding and style it a little bit better. So click here, then make sure this is activated, Style, and on padding, right click, and we can add some padding. I would go with XS, and then click this twice, and now everything is set up correctly. Great. So let me check again the design. Okay, there is this little color and mouse hover, right? I will try to use default colors so to go quicker. So click here. And first of all, we need to change the color background. So go on Style, go on Background, change this. And I will go with maybe a lighter color, or maybe this one. You can choose the color you want. So yeah, I would go with this one actually. Okay, just to make it faster and quicker. Great. Now we need to actually make the borders too. So click here, border. Click this, and here right click, and with AutomaticCSS I get the radius. Okay. Looks good. So I need also the mouse over effect, right, for the whole block. To do that, click here, then click here, and then click hover. With hover, select that you now can style the hover version. So go on background, choose a darker color, okay, and you can now clear this. Perfect. Let's save, refresh the page, and as you can see now, the mouse over, it's working. Great. So now let's add some spacing and some styling to those elements. Let me first check the responsiveness. Okay. Let's go back on the desktop version. Open the section. With section selected, go on row gap, add the preferred gap. I would go with a big gap, so XL. Great. Container, the to container, row gap, you can go with the XS. The text here, so you can style the text however you want. In this case, I won't do that because the tutorial is getting very long. Anyway, let's go here on the structure. With this one selected, just start duplicate it 4 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 times actually, because we have the first one already. Great. Click on the container here. With the container selected, get and gap, right click. You can choose now the gap between the elements. You know, you can get like this. Let's try M. As you can see, if I get on a design, the gap is actually pretty the same. Okay. Of course, now if I want to edit the first one and I click on this one and go like activate the class, sorry, and go on style, layout, and change the padding here. So make sure click twice here, and instead of XS I would go with an M, okay, or an S actually. And as you can see now, the padding looks more similar and everything changed because we are using classes. Cool. So let's check the other responsiveness. So this looks great, this one looks great, but this one doesn't look really good. So go on container, with container selected, go on content, grid template columns, right click and choose one. That's all. So now everything is vertical and is working on mobile. Cool. Let's say I need to add a link to the whole box. Click here, open this up, and then we need to search for an HTML tag here, and instead of div, you need to click a link. And as you can see now, it's actually a link. And if you click on it, of course you need to choose a link here. So I would go and open that up, okay, external URL. I would put our website. That is still in maintenance actually. Paste it here. And then click save. You can refresh the builder. Okay, so this is not getting to the other one because classes doesn't actually get the HTML tag. So what you can do here is very simple. Open up the section, open up the second container, and just delete the other ones. Click on the first one, and again duplicate. And now everything have a link, and you can replace the link for each of those. And if you get On responsiveness, look at this, everything stays the same. Great! I hope the tutorial was useful, guys. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment if you have any question, and see you in the next one. Bye!